Good evening, New Sarum. This scene is set at Desperate Dan's Cafe in the Palm, near Club Gemini. And Isabell is sat at a booth, kind of in a back corner away from everyone, waiting for Tootie to arrive as she left Isabell a rather erratic voice message the previous night. And it was too late to meet her again when she got back, so she called her to have her meet her tonight to speak to her. So that Isabell is wearing casual clothes, jeans, tank top, tennis shoes. Her hair's down instead of pulled back, though.
So about, it's what seems like a while, Tootie will eventually kind of just walk in as her hair, Isabel notices, wild. And her eyes are kind of wide. As it looked wet, but not her clothes, as they look kind of very mismatched. They're kind of thrown on, almost in a panic. And she'll order some coffee and very take it. Your man kind of probably gives her a look, but she doesn't pay no mind. And she almost seems to be looking around quite rapidly, like behind her, around the place. As you notice, the cup that she has is shaking, as she's just almost like panically looking for you.
Isabell gets up from the booth and walks over to her and greets her with a smile. Good evening, Tootie.
Hi. Hi, Isabel.
Oh, come on over here. I got a booth for us.
Is it far away from everyone?
Yes, there's no one else over here.
She nods, and you see her looking behind her, just letting it linger for longer than it should normally. You normally see her erratically moving. She's there for the longest time staring at something. But when you look, she's just looking out the window. She's just staring.
And it's not that busy yet anyway tonight. It's Thursday night, so I rolled a chance die, so it's not that busy. Anyway,
Yeah.
so yeah, she found a booth in a quiet corner. So she notices that Tootie is jittery and nervous, even more so than usual. She gets a little bit of a concerned look on her face. Is everything all right?
No.
No. Well, what happened?
I went out. She is like rocking. She's kind of leaning again, so making sure that nobody can see her rocking. She'll look over at you and kind of her hands shake as she puts the coffee down. I went out to the Black Orchid and I was having a good time. I met Bianca and we danced, and it was nice. And I met this girl and she was really scared, and I was trying to help. And I thought maybe she took something, a bad side effect. But the way she's talking, like her fingers are clicking, and it's very rapid. Like it's very, very rapid. But she was really panicky, so I asked Bianca to go downstairs and get me something to drink because I didn't want to leave her on her own. And she starts almost like she's about to blubber, like, and start crying.
Isabell hands her some tissues from her bag that Tootie had given her the night before.
she kind of takes them as dabbing her eyes and, checking in the mirror and stuff like that and dabbing her eyes again, like very, very paranoid. She bit me and she took my blood.
So she was kindred?
But she had a pulse and normal. She was blushing.
She probably has the same condition as me, most likely. Remember that I look pretty much completely normal, mortal, that you can even feel pulse on me, even without me spending blood to do so.
She hugged me and I felt good, but then I realized what had happened straight afterwards. He bit me.
Isabel reaches across the table and takes your hand.
It's
You
tremoring.
you didn't do anything wrong, okay?
I'm not gonna get in trouble, am I? Is
No,
this
of course
is this some
not.
is this some prank by Scratcher? Am I? Are they trying to? Is this
What are you talking about?
maybe Scratch is like, or maybe this is a test by like Teddy or something to see how smart I am.
I
Maybe
really don't I really don't think that, Tootie. I don't think that at all. Who was this person?
her
Who
name is
was it?
Lily Wren. She gives you a detailed description of what she looked like. She's a, she said she was a Toreador. She said she was a Toreador.
Tord. I've never.
She's like she would whisper that, she would whisper that. Bianca was there and she called the authorities.
Okay.
She's she's barely old enough. She doesn't even know all the traditions either. She said her sire abandoned her.
Oh, that's not good. She says she's Toreador.
She said her name's Lily of the Rose.
Well, she's definitely not from here. I know every Toreador in the city.
She told us that they traveled to New Salem and he disappeared.
Okay.
I don't think she's that old. She's a couple of months, like on Valentine's Day. She was made. She was made.
Well, Valentine's Day was 6 months ago.
So she's about that. That's like a baby practically.
Yeah, definitely too young to be away from her sire.
But what happens if she's a Sabat? Do you think I'm gonna? She just starts. I mean, just rock like so, like very, very just. I mean, she's rocking.
Isabel moves from across from you and comes and sits next to you and kind of takes you into her arms. Her biting you leaves no ill effects on you except a shock. However, that means that even if she is Sabat, and she says that almost whispered, it's not going to have any effect on you. Now, if you had drank from her, I don't, I don't think her blood would have any adverse effect on you except maybe a blood bond, but that's
I
it.
think. Do you think that she's like that with me? Yeah, she is. She is. She's kind of nodding. That's one step right.
Yes, which means
Oh,
she's probably going to like you.
bit me. She keeps just repeating that very like she's like scrunched
Did
up, like
she?
tugging
How did
at
she
her arms.
not know? How did she not know you?
I have my ways. She gives you kind of you see a smirk on
Well,
her face.
then if she didn't know that you are not kind, can you really blame her for trying to feed?
I know, it's just, she looks very embarrassed.
I'm
I
just
don't like
saying,
it.
if she knew and she did it anyway, then yeah, that's a, at least a violation of a moral code. But she didn't know.
She said she wasn't sure, but she thought I was. So she was taking a bite, and she did checks apparently, and I passed.
Then normal checks, checking for pulse, checking for coloring, checking temperature, and if you were using any blood to manifest those things that we would normally check for, then of course you'd pass.
I didn't want to feed on her because she was scared. That's all. I couldn't do that to her.
No,
I thought I just
you didn't.
I'm not mad at her. I'm just got
Well,
a fright.
she is an outsider. I don't. Even if she was abandoned by her sire, she's an outsider, so she can't be trusted.
I
Okay?
know they're not gonna die.
They're not gonna hurt her, no. They're going to check her out. If she's legit, they'll let her stay in the city.
But Scratch, not that they're gonna like peg me down and stuff.
They're not, because they're not going to know about it.
She just nods and like,
I'm not going to say anything.
but
Bianca
you
won't say
prom.
anything.
What happens if she says something? They're gonna. She just starts. She looks so terrified. Like, just,
Why would she say anything?
I don't
Hmm?
know. I don't know. I'm just frightened.
The only person that it might get said anything to is the whatever authority Bianca called, because she has to tell her the situation.
Yeah, she's called the sheriff, I think.
Oh, good. Then yes, the sheriff will probably know about it. But other than that, it shouldn't get out.
I'm not gonna get in trouble, am I?
No, you didn't do anything wrong.
It's just that
It's not. Honestly, even though it is frowned upon feeding off other kindred, it's not against any traditions.
I didn't want to feed off her, Isabel.
I know, and you didn't. She fed off you. That's her problem, not yours.
I just don't
Okay?
want them laughing. I just don't want them laughing at me.
Nobody's going to laugh at you. And if they do, they'll have me to tend to reckon with. Okay?
Yeah, and they're still gonna want me to do stuff for them, like think of me like important, and it's not gonna ruin my reputation. This is it.
No, of
I'm not
course
gonna be
not.
like ostracized or something.
Why would you be ostracized? Why? Calm down. You're making this way bigger than it should be, than it is. Nothing is going to happen to you. You did
It's
nothing
just
wrong.
she just is leaning against you. The last time something like this happened, no one believed me.
What happened?
I don't want to talk about it. She kind of
Okay.
tightens.
You don't have to. You don't have to. But I
Just I
believe
wasn't.
you. I believe what happened. And I'm saying you did nothing wrong. It is not your fault.
She just nods.
Okay.
You're in my head,
And
Isabel.
if it turns out that she is Toreador and she remains in the city, I'll have a chat with her
Yeah.
about paying more attention because unless you were forcing yourself to breathe, she should have checked that.
I was forcing myself to breathe to not make sure I kept the masquerade, you know? I was doing what?
Right, because you thought that she was kind.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
I was. I was doing the right thing.
you were. Yes, you were. Like I said, you did nothing wrong. Nothing's going to happen to you. You're not going to get ostracized or have your reputation ruined. That's not going to happen. Okay.
She just nods.
And Isabel wraps both of her arms around Tootie and squeezes her.
I get scared and I can hear things. But I'm not crazy.
Of
I'm not
course not.
crazy.
I know you're not. Look, I'll tell you something. There are things that haunt me as well. Especially if
Mm-hmm.
I get scared. Things will start coming
Just
back up.
do you hear
So,
them all the time?
fortunately, no.
She just has this look of just pure sadness. I do.
I'm sorry. If there's anything I can do to help, feel free to let me know.
She just kind of looks up. Part of the problem. She kind of just gestures at herself. You know, unfortunately, it's Malkavian thing.
Yes, unfortunate, but that doesn't mean that you know.
I haven't had a freak out this bad, and I feel really stupid. And I just got scared, and when I get scared, it gets really bad.
I know. Just believe it or not, forcing yourself to take deep breaths still helps.
Yeah, I was trying to do that in the shower today. It didn't work. She kind of just looks very exasperated.
Well, sometimes it takes the company of someone else to help as well.
Normally, Teddy's I go to, but he wasn't around, so I got really worried and paranoid that he had planned this as like a test or something.
No, I doubt that. I really doubt that. I'm
So
sure
you
what
know,
happened was both of you, just it was one big misunderstanding, obviously. And she's not from around here, so she didn't know who you were. You didn't know who she was. So that's a recipe for disaster right there.
yeah,
But it could have been
I
much
am.
worse.
Yeah, I could have been in an
So,
unlocked room again. She kind of just nods her head.
yeah, but you weren't, and
No,
you're
I
okay.
made sure the door. She gives you kind of a smile, like I made sure the door was unlocked.
Good, good. And I'm sure that door locks from the inside anyway, so even if it was, you could have gotten out.
Mm-hmm. I did my
But
checks. Everything was real. She just kind of nods to herself. You hear her saying that under her breath. Everything was real.
Isabel just kind of nods along with her and still continues to hold her and actually gently rock her, kind of in her arms soothingly.
Bianca seemed okay. Not okay, okay, but kind of like you, okay? If you
Managing.
get me. Mm.
Did you say anything to her about me?
She kind of looks down really guilty. I may have said it the wrong way. I didn't mean to say it that way. I was so panicked. I said you were okay, but you know what I mean by okay. Like
I
me, okay.
do. I do,
I think
but
she may have. I think she may have misread what I said.
it's possible. I'm not
I
mad
was
at you,
just,
though.
I was
It's
so
okay.
flustered.
I'm as okay as I can be.
Exactly. You're like me. You're okay. She kind of gives you this knowing look. You're okay. And she's like grabbing tissues and like dabbling your face.
Yeah, she can't hold back the tears anymore.
Oh, we make a great pair, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
Sorry for upsetting. I'm sorry for upsetting you.
You upset me. I upset me. This whole situation's my fault. I'm the one that chose to leave.
Well, maybe we could go out tomorrow night, you and me, and not think about things like that for a while.
I'd like that. That would be
And
good.
she kind of looks up at you. If Kara's around, I could just sneak off and get to know her and get all the information, you know?
Yeah, I guess
We could we could happen upon each other in a nightclub. Nobody would be none the wiser.
I don't know where she frequents these days.
We'll find out.
These nights.
Like I'll try Club Deep. or something, and I'll see what I can dirge up, and you can maybe follow, and we'll be like a sneak operation team. We won't pretend to know each other, but when we do, we can meet up and see what we find out.
All right. That sounds like a decent plan. We'll see.
You just we just gotta act like teenage girls, basically. She just kind of smiles at you.
Well, I do remember what it's like to be a teenage girl, so.
I'm only. She's like looks up. Like technically, I'm only like 27 now, so I was only like 23 when I first started. But even less than that, yes, no. I was only young enough, you know.
Yeah, I was 27, just turned 27 when I was like
You
this, and
don't
I'll be 38 this year.
you don't look 27. She kind of smiles. You look about my age. She looks like 21, 22.
Good genes in my family.
She just nods. Thank you. I tried calling Teddy, but no answer, and I didn't want to. I didn't want Victor to see me like this.
I understand. I went and saw Victor last night.
Hmm. Told you, is he nice?
Of course he is. He's
I
always
told.
nice.
She just nods her head like it is. I told you so. Look, he's lovely.
He is.
He's teaching me how to play piano.
Hmm.
Not very good at it though. She kind of
He
smiles to
was
herself.
he was playing the piano when I came in. He's very good.
He's him.
I almost got lost in the music. You know how I do sometimes.
I know. He's actually teaching me to play a band that I kind of like, and I shouldn't really like because everyone makes fun of me.
Oh, and what is that?
She like leans right in, so no, like like extra, making sure.
Oh, that's all right. I don't mind some of their songs.
She gets really excited. Like, I mean, she gets really, really excited. You know, and like she like her eyes kind of widen, like they kind of bust open, you know, and it's like momentarily like forgetting the panic state she was in. It's like I've seen him live
You
twice.
forget I coach teenage girls, and guess what we listen to while we practice?
Oh, she kind of just does this. Oh, but she's like excitedly even says, "I saw him live twice, and they're really good."
That's cool. I have never been to a concert. I mean, I've been to the
Well,
theater and the opera, but I've never been to like a concert.
well, if there's a band playing at Gemini next, you can come.
No, I guess if you count that, I've been there.
Gig.
Yeah, to a gig. But like, I don't know. Most of my favorite music's from the 80s. You know, because that's when I was in high school.
Oh, hmm,
You
I
know,
get
I
it.
listened to Poison and Metallica sometimes.
I like Metallica. She kind of just nods. All right, I like Metallica. Look, I have Lily's number. Um, now I said I'd be there with her when the sheriff met just to calm her because she seemed to be really calm.
Hmm.
Say you're a friend of 2D's after this whole sheriff meeting. That's what she knows me by.
Okay.
And she just slides
That's what
you
I
over.
know you might
She
do.
just smiles as she slides you over. You can tell she's written another number down, and she slides you over Lily. Even has written out Lily Renton. Just
She
wait till
takes
we
it.
just wait till we clear things up with the authorities. But I said I'd be there with her, so she'd be nice and relaxed.
Yes. And if she is Toreador, then I will reach out.
I'll
Like, it's going
give
to
you a
take a
hand.
while for me to trust her, but I'll make sure that she gets integrated.
I'll give you a hand too because I think she's nervous like me.
Mm, poor girl.
She looked terrified.
You
Like
can
there was
tell that
somebody.
Isabel is you know, you this look of concern on her face for this girl and for you even too, like, you know, her whole, I guess you can say, motherly instinct kicking in.
I think I think she sees things sometimes because she was pretty sure someone was after her. I get like that too. But then again, she might have taken something. We don't know. Best not to pry
Of course, of
until she's
course.
ready.
Well, when she's checked out, then I'll contact her and see if I can get a meeting with some of the higher ups in the clan. Since
Mm,
we don't actually have Primogen right now, I'll probably just meet with the twins and her. Maybe
mm.
Scratch if I can get Scratch too.
I can maybe scratch might be a bit much for her on her first go.
That's true. Maybe just best to meet with Lenora, Annabelle, and I first.
I can talk to Scratch and maybe make it easier. Maybe Scratch will go a bit easier on her.
Maybe, but don't count on it.
I won't. I know Scratch. She just kind of smiles to herself.
Yeah, we all know Scratch.
She's not too bad when you get to know her. I don't mind her. I just don't like the way she touches my hair. That weirds me.
I've known Scratch 5 years longer than you.
Mm.
Scratch, underneath that bitchiness. You can tell it makes her a little uncomfortable to even say that word, but
2D smiles again as you curse. She seems to like it when you do cuss words. She just smiles at you.
underneath that, she's actually really nice.
That's why I hooked her in Hyde Park. She looked terrified.
I know. I comforted her on the boat over there. But when I first met her, she touched my hair that way too. And actually, a little bit more of me. My arm, my hand. I think she rather
Yeah,
liked
yeah.
the way that I look human.
She does this. She imitates what Scratch does to Daniel's face and just thumbs your face, like your cheek.
Isabel
It's a
smiles
bit.
as she knows that all too well. Yes.
It's a bit.
I think that's just
2D
her
kind of
thing.
squirms.
And I think,
It's a bit.
I think when she thinks that someone is pretty, she likes to do that.
I'm not pretty. She kind of just looks down.
Isabel kind of gives you a sideways glare. Yes, you
What?
are. You are
She just
pretty.
does that, like her hair flying everywhere. No.
Hmm. Hmm. You're pretty because I said you are.
Okay. Well, maybe. She kind of just is like, yeah. Hmm. I just, yeah. Um. Thank you. I'm. You didn't have to come, Isabel.
Of course I did. You needed help. I'm your friend. That's what friends do.
You won't tell anyone about this, will you?
Of course not.
Okay.
The only thing I'll say if anyone asks is that you two met at the Black Orchid, and that's all they need to know. All right?
Don't tell anyone that
They
I
don't
was
need to know nothing
freaking out.
else.
Don't tell anyone that I was freaking out, okay? I don't want them to say I'm
I'm
crazy.
not Tootie. Look, and she kind of gently takes her hand and places it under your chin and kind of forces you to look into her eyes. I'm not going to say anything about you, what's taking place, how you are. That's none of their business. I wouldn't betray your trust like that.
Okay. Well, Bianca?
No, no, she wouldn't. Bianca is even more private person than I am. She's not going to say anything.
Okay. She gives you a very tight hug. Like
She
it's
returns it.
I'm gonna go and try and go to work and do something today.
Okay. You
I
let me
normally
know
am.
if you need anything, all right?
She just nods. I'm normally calm when I do equations. It's kind of odd like that.
Good. We all have our outlets, things that
She
calm
just,
us down.
well, I've given up textile laundry, so I can't do that. She kind of just gives you a smirk as she's getting out of the seat.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. Isabel has moved out of the seat to let her out. Thank you for calling me. I really appreciate that you feel comfortable enough to come to me with things like this.
I just, I knew you were a Toreador, and I knew you'd think you need to know, and Teddy didn't answer, and I just thought Isabel normally listens, and yeah,
Thank you.
it gives you just an awkward smile.
You have no idea how much it means to me.
Hmm. She nods her head and gives you a smile. I'll see you later. She kind of just is walking kind of hunched and very fast out of the diner.
Isabel smiles after Tootie and grabs her bag, and she doesn't hurry out of the shop. She just smiles to herself, thinking that between Victor and Tootie that she actually does have some friends. Still, and trying not to beat herself up too much about the way she hurt Bianca.
And Tootie will walk to work, but all the while she's walking, she will hear the swinging of a door, sweaty laughter, as she will close her eyes while she's working and will leave work early. Because to be honest, she can't make a scene, and she will go home and huddle in a corner and cry. And that's poor old Tootie.